Hi, I'm Rochelle, and I'm out with traffic services at a ride spot check, which they do throughout the entire year to help reduce the amount of impaired drivers on the streets of Toronto.
It never would have occurred to me that there was one anywhere tonight, so the surprise factor of it is, in my opinion, a really good idea because, you know, it's one thing to kind of be really careful when you're driving on Thanksgiving. It's quite another to be in the middle of September and go.
Good evening, my name is Blaine Young. I'm a sergeant with Traffic Services. Tonight we're conducting a ride spot check on Parkside Drive north of Lakeshore Boulevard West, and we're looking for impaired drivers tonight.
And how does a ride spot check work?
The way that it works is we have a number of officers on our line, and the officers engage in conversation with drivers of motor vehicles, and during that conversation officers will make determinations as to whether or not the driver has been drinking or if they're under the influence of a drug. Based on that conversation, sometimes the officers will form a reasonable suspicion and pull the driver off of the line and have a one-on-one conversation with them. During that conversation, if they determine and form that reasonable suspicion further, they will then give them an approved screening device demand. The subject will then come to our ride truck that we're in now, and then they will blow into an approved screening device, and based on the reading from that, that'll determine the next course of action that the officer will take. So what we have here is the approved screening device that I was talking about earlier. It's a Drager Alcotest 6810. It's a very simple test to be done by the subject. It takes approximately 3 seconds.
So all that's involved is making a tight seal around the tube and blowing through it. It's like blowing through a straw. It's that simple.
This just gives you a range from 0 to 49 is what we consider a pass, or they can drive away from the scene. 50 to 99 would be an alert, which would be a 3-day license suspension. If they fail, which is 100 or more, that is when they're arrested for driving over 80 milligrams. Once they've gone through duty counsel or speaking to their counsel of choice, then they're brought into an intoxilizer technician. Here, the officer provides all the information of the subject to the intoxilizer technician, and then they have to provide by law 2 suitable samples of their breath into the intoxilizer.
This is the first time that I've had a roadside test, so it's a good opportunity for me anyway to see where the limits are. I mean, you always feel, you know, you spend your whole life thinking, okay, I'm okay to drive, am I okay to drive, and then you actually get to see exactly where it is, and it's nice to kind of have that for a change.
And that's another episode of How We Do at TPS. Please visit howwedoattps.com for more videos.